हाय फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम बैक। तो आज का हमारा वीडियो है आई स्पेंट 48 आवर्स ऑन द डार्क वेब। ओ माय गॉड, 48 आवर्स ऑन द डार्क वेब। और मैं रेकमेंड करूँगा कि लोग ना जाएं डार्क वेब में, और अगर जाना चाहते हैं तो पहले आर्टिकल्स पढ़ें हाउ टू सेफली गो ऑन द डार्क वेब, क्योंकि उसके लिए आपको कुछ प्रिपरेशन करनी पड़ेगी टू गो टू डार्क वेब, सो दैट आप ही खुद भी आप ट्रबल में ना आ जाएं। सो यू नीड टू प्रिपेयर फॉर दैट। तो मगर इंटरेस्टिंग वीडियो लग रहा है, अमेजिंग। सो चलते हैं, देखते हैं इस वीडियो को।
Drugs, scams, weapons. I even saw beheading.
Holy shit. That's crazy. I guess the only thing I'm worried about is how do you think Achina's gonna take it?
Let's see. Chia, do you have a minute?
Come. What is this?
So, we had a wild idea for the next TV video. We were thinking that we could send you off into the dark web. Have you explore it for like 48 hours and show the audience what's out there.
Is that even legal?
It's legal. I mean, I guess as long as you don't do anything illegal.
करेक्ट।
Basically.
But
Like, don't do anything, like, just don't do illegal shit.
what if we
Like,
make
that's
this
Sorry.
video and influence our audience to go to the dark web and they end up in places we don't want them to? Then
I don't know. These kinds of educational videos, they usually have the opposite effect. So maybe we could take the risk and, I don't know, I don't think our
It
audience...
doesn't matter. The point is that just because you can show somebody how to go, you're not responsible for anybody doing bad things on the web. अगर आप किसी इंसान को दिखाते हैं कि इस तरीके से आप ये कर सकते हैं, बट उसके इंसान के ऊपर ही है कि वो क्या करता है, देन इट इज़ दैट पर्सनस प्रॉब्लम। इन द सेंस कि कुकर्मा तो आप नोइंगली ही करेंगे। दैट इज़, अगर कोई कुकर्मा करता है तो ही इज़ रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर दैट। बट एनीबडी शुड बी एबल टू गिव द नॉलेज ऑन हाउ टू सेफली गो ऑन द डार्क वेब। इसीलिए मैंने कहा था कि आपको प्रिपेयर करके जाना पड़ेगा, एंड यू हैव टू डू इट वेरी वेरी सेफली।
dumb enough that they're going to go to the dark web and get themselves into trouble.
okay, I don't mind doing the video, but are we sure they won't? Alright, I want you to try something out, okay? Go to your Google account settings and look for the option that lets you monitor your security breaches, because chances are your information has been leaked somewhere in the dark
Sure.
web. And if your data indeed was breached, like my information was, then you have to watch this video till the end. You see, for the longest time, I've been very fascinated by the concept of the dark web. And by fascinated, I also mean a little bit
देखिए, यूएस में डार्क वेब में lot of information about everybody is available. The only thing is, very few have been able to piece together all that information to actually do some serious harm. They of course they are doing a lot of harm, मगर उनको piece together करना every inch of information which is spread across various spaces, वो कुछ ही लोग कर पाते हैं. They are not after regular people. They are after some really rich people who have a lot of money. But yes, dark web is a dangerous place. और अगर आपने सुना होगा identity theft, that is also a very dangerous thing that happens to a lot of people in the US.
unsettled, because all I have heard is that the most terrible bits of humanity can be found neatly organized within the strands of the dark web.
But nothing is free on the dark web. You have to pay money to do anything. That means agar if you're doing something that you are consciously paying for that, and then you're doing a crime.
Drugs, weapons, human trafficking, God knows what else could be down there. We'd been told that it's definitely a place to stay away from, and naturally that made all of us all the more curious, so we did our thing, dove deep into it. And what we learned was that we knew very little about all this. You see, the most inaccessible and unexplored territories known to man are space, the oceans, and also the internet. It is literally so unbelievably vast and filled with so many interesting tidbits.
देखिए, डार्क वेब है क्या? डार्क वेब इज़ अ बंच ऑफ साइट्स दैट आर नॉट इंडेक्स्ड, जो आपको गूगल में सर्च में नहीं मिलती. दैट इज़ समथिंग ऑफ द ग्रिड. दे एग्जिस्ट, दे हैव देयर ओन नेटवर्क, बट दैट इज़ समथिंग दैट यू कांट फाइंड बाय रेगुलर मीन्स.
And today,
I don't know whether they're going to tell you how to get there. Let's see.
gonna take you
But anyhow, there's a lot of information available on the internet, जहाँ पे they have guides on how to surf the dark web. But again, it is a dangerous thing.
Go through all of it, from what the internet really is to why this sinister dark web was created in the first place, and finally, we are gonna go as far into the dark web as we legally can so that you never have to. So when we started to go down the rabbit hole, the very first door was just, what the hell is the internet? Like, have you guys ever wondered where the internet exists? Or how your floating little phone can somehow send a text message to someone all the way in Japan? It's pretty simple actually. Stay with me. So your phone has a Wi-Fi chip in it, and its main function is to decode the radio waves coming from the router. The router then connects to a few other devices in your house, maybe your laptop, your smart TV, and even other computers. Together, they form a local area network. Easy stuff, no? But now, this router connects to a modem which transmits data through cables or airwaves to your internet service provider. Suddenly, you're part of a regional network with thousands of other computers doing the same thing. Your ISP then plugs into something much bigger, that's the national backbone. Just picture massive fiber optic cables stretching across the country, carrying data at the speed of light. These cables connect every ISP in the country.
देखिए नॉर्मली इंडिया में भी फाइबर आ गया होगा. लॉट ऑफ पीपल हैव फाइबर, सो ऐसा नहीं है. Fiber can come to an individual's home also, like from here to the ISP we have fiber. So a lot of people, मतलब फाइबर तो बहुत कॉमन है यूएस में. इंडिया में मेरे ख्याल से फाइबर would be very common.
Creating a nationwide web of smaller regional networks all talking to each other. Zoom out one more time and you'll see that this national network of ISPs rely on submarine cables lying on the ocean floor and satellites orbiting overhead to link globally. They basically do so by connecting to global exchange points, which are called Internet Exchange Points or IXPs. That's how your phone connects to this global network and lets you send a message to someone all the way in Japan. And that's the internet. But you know what's really insane? Right now, as you're watching this, you think you're using the entirety of the internet, but you're not. You're using maybe 4% of it. The Google searches, the Instagram scrolling, these YouTube videos, and every website you've ever visited, all of it combined barely scratches the surface. This visible part, everything you can access through a search engine, is called the surface web. It's clean, indexed, and visible. But it's really nothing compared to what lies beneath, which is the deep web. And it makes up about 94% of the internet. Now don't worry, the deep web isn't just some scary criminal underworld, it's just private. Websites that haven't been discovered and indexed by crawlers, your emails, your cloud storage that Google Doc you set to private, your Netflix account, even your online banking, they're all set isolated in the deep
Yeah,
web.
वो ठीक है, but इसमें से some part is dark web.
Fully functional but inaccessible to others. But then there's the dark web.
Correct.
And this is where things get interesting or unsettling. The
Yeah.
dark web is not really a specific part of the internet that exists somewhere or someplace. Rather, it refers to a bunch of websites hosted on various servers around the world that you cannot access without following protocol. That's all. So, how do you get access to these sites? You basically need specialized software like the Tor browser, which creates anonymity for you by passing you through layers of encryption through a process called onion routing. Now, this process makes everything very hush-hush and untraceable and hence dark. They're not inherently evil, they're just exclusive. And believe it or not, it was created by the US government.
Our goal was to create more secure internet communications for the government.
It's called Tor, and among other uses,
देखिए Tor तो starting point है, उसके बाद you need many more things. Let's see.
can help people navigate the so-called dark web, which is often used for criminal activity. But it's been revealed that government agencies are still sponsoring it. Illegal criminal activity.
Imagine this. In the 1990s, researchers at the US Naval Research Lab had a problem. How do you communicate sensitive information online when
Correct.
everyone might be watching? So, they created Tor, the onion router. The problem was, if only government agents used the network, it would be obvious who was on it. All sensitive information would stick out like a sore thumb because that's the only traffic. So by 2002, DARPA, the same people who helped create the internet, made Tor public. The idea was to get millions of regular people to crowd the same network, essentially creating a cover for military personnel. This one little decision would go on to create an insane impact in global trade and communication in all sorts of ways. And we are going to cover the good, the bad, and the ugly of the dark web.
Good तो पता नहीं, but yeah, sure.
What are you guys doing? Okay, let's do it. Let's go to the dark web. So, What do we need? What are you guys doing? We don't need any of this. We just need a laptop and VPN.
Wait, that's it?
Yep. Just one last thing. In the last few years, as AI's role in our lives exploded, software development became one of the most impacted professions. It leaves actionable comments and it is completely free. Okay, this is a list of some. If you want faster, smarter code reviews and cleaner PRs, give CodeRabbit a try. I put the link in description, add CodeRabbit to your workflow and see what the future of coding looks like. Okay, this is a list of some dark websites. There's a lot of political forums on here. People discussing national issues. There's also a lot of memes. I wonder if I get arrested for posting these. Now, despite its sinister reputation, the dark web also quietly empowers people fighting against oppression, censorship, and surveillance around the globe. In fact, some of the bravest acts of modern journalism and activism have been made possible solely because of the anonymity the dark web provides. Let me take you back to 2010. The Arab Spring is erupting across the Middle East. Protesters in Tunisia, Egypt, Syria, they're facing governments that'll kill them for
चलिए
speaking
ठीक है,
out.
fine.
Traditional internet, completely monitored. But Tor, that gave them a lifeline. Now jump to 2013. Edward Snowden is sitting in Hong Kong hotel room with a bunch of documents that would expose the largest
अब ये बताइए कितने लोगों ने ज़िंदगी में एक्चुअली टॉर यूज़ किया है और उसकी स्पीड कितनी थी? It is extremely slow.
surveillance program in human history. How did he safely communicate with journalists without the NSA, his former employer, tracking him down? Tor. This anonymity has often acted as the backbone for a lot of journalistic intentions. So you don't want people using the dark web because drugs, weapons, whatnot, but you also do because free speech.
Yeah, irony is the defining trait of the dark web. Just look at Tor. The US government built it for interpersonal communication, except who uses it? Drug cartels, criminal organizations.
Snowden, like whistleblowers, journalists, and oftentimes these people are using it against the governments that built the thing.
Yeah, ironic.
Yeah, that's ironic.
Yeah, so if you shut it down, you're actually risking destroying all of these legitimate users.
Yeah. I mean, after all this research, it really feels like the dark web as a place is. I mean, it's not as bad as people have made it out to be.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. Oh shit, it has everything. The anonymity of the dark web protects whistleblowers and dissidents from oppression, yes, but it also incidentally protects some truly horrifying stuff. You know, about 57% of dark web content is illegal, and most of that are just drugs and weapons and whatnot, and the scale of all of it is staggering. Have you ever heard of the Silk Road? It was kind of like Amazon, but for all the illegal stuff. It was created in 2011 by a guy who called himself Dread Pirate Roberts, but we'll call him by his real name, that's Ross Ulbricht. So in just 2 years, his site generated around 9.5 million bitcoins in sales. That's nearly $200 million made in illegal trade, most of which were from the sale of drugs. Luckily, law enforcement wasn't just sitting around watching this happen. The takedown of Silk Road actually reads like a spy thriller. So in mid-2011, the Department of Human Services in Baltimore received a tip about this Silk Road. This led to the formation of a multi-agency task force called the Marco Polo, which included the FBI, the DEA, the IRS, and many more. For months, these FBI agents posed as buyers brandishing large orders in order to map the site's operations.
Correct.
Through this process, they got introduced to all the Silk Road admins, and that led to the arrest of username Chronic Pain, real name Curtis Green, the site admin. This unlocked private communication logs and Bitcoin account records linked to Ross Ulbricht. After following a trail of breadcrumbs, Ross Ulbricht was arrested on October 1st, 2013 at a San Francisco public library. And get this, okay? He was caught red-handed while logged in as an admin on the Silk Road site and talking to someone he thought was a colleague, but was in fact an undercover agent.
Right.
Fun fact, on 21st January 2025, the second day of Trump's presidency, he pardoned Ross Ulbricht. And the ethics behind this decision are quite grey, but that's not part of our story. What is relevant to our story is that busting the Silk Road wasn't the end of dark web markets. The damn thing about the internet is that it's like a Hydra's head. Shut down one side and 3 more pop up to take its place. So soon after, Silk Road 2.0 came about. Then came all sorts of clones, and finally the big bad Alphabet, a dark net market that dwarfs Silk Road in scale and generated over $1 billion in sales. Keep in mind, these are conservative figures. The real numbers could be way higher. But drugs aren't the only thing you'll find there. I'm guessing these are stolen, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fake IDs,
All stolen.
iPhones, hacking services. $500 a week. What the While casually browsing through the dark web, you might come across your personal data. You know those massive corporate breaches you hear about? The data that gets stolen there all ends up for sale on the dark web, and it's shockingly cheap. Like, someone sold the personal information of 2.6 million Duolingo users for just $1,500. That's less than ₹1 per person. And remember when LinkedIn got hacked in 2012, Yahoo in 2016? All those passwords ended up in dark web marketplaces in exchange for just peanuts. So what happens to all the stolen data once it hits the dark web? Who is buying it really? It gets packaged into something called fulls. That's complete digital profiles containing everything about you. These bundles then get sold to cyber criminals who'll hit you with a barrage of phishing scams like fake job offers and investment opportunities. So the clever ones go for loan fraud. Basically, they'll apply for an instant loan using your details.
Identity
and sure,
theft.
they need an OTP to greenlight the loan. However, they have a fix for that too, and it's called a SIM swap scam. All they have to do is share your leaked KYC details and get a replacement SIM issued. The moment they activate that new SIM, yours goes dead. Now every OTP
Correct.
that's meant for you flows straight to them. But criminals aren't the only buyers. Political groups also purchase this data for voter profiling and targeted misinformation campaigns. In India, with WhatsApp being the largest university with zero admission requirements, manipulating public opinion can often be a byproduct of practices within the dark web. And if not political groups, data brokers also feast on these leaks to analyze your consumer behavior patterns and sell those insights to companies who want to nudge you toward their products. So maybe take it seriously when they say, hey, it's been 6 months, you should probably change your password. Oh, by the way, you can also check if you've been compromised at haveibeenpawned.com. See, safety measures aren't too hard, but it does take a certain willingness on your part.
Okay, so I came across a bunch of different mafias. Mexican mafia, peso mafia, there's a few onion websites. I couldn't find an Indian mafia or a hitman site, but I'm pretty sure that if you looked hard enough, it's gonna be there.
I feel like 90% of the dark web is probably just like scams. I mean, think about it. It's called the dark web. You know, people are going to this place expecting like some dark shit, and I feel like now that it has this reputation, it's just filled with a bunch like really gullible people who are like just getting scammed. Like I found like a bunch of websites where they're selling like organs. You know, I mean, just think about who needs organs, right? Like there's probably somebody who's super desperate who needs medical help. They put in a ton of money, and then at the end of it, it's just some fake UI.
Yeah, they can't even report it because technically they'd be incriminating themselves.
Yeah, exactly. It gets so much better or worse, I'm not sure. Like I found the cure to cancer, by the way. There's like websites which are marketing like these off-market like experimental treatments, and one of them is like the cure to cancer. But there's some scams I don't have a huge problem with. There's like good scams.
What's a good scam?
Like the hitman thing you were saying. Like basically anybody who signs up for a hitman service is a criminal, right? So I read that there's like ethical hackers who keep track of who monitor these hitman databases, and then they report their names to the cybercrime division.
But rare. It's very rare.
There is an important notice from Cybercrime Department. Your personal credential has been used on dark web continuously.
Yeah.
If you do not report in 2 hours, we will take legal action against you.
So basically, last night I used my dad's laptop and I went to the dark web. Smart. Yeah, I don't know. And I think I was on black hat chat rooms. I was just seeing what people are speaking, what are they talking about. And 15 minutes later, they kicked me out. I used Tor. I took an extra layer of VPN. And still, the very next day, my dad's gotten this call. Which, I don't know, it's just... Oh, shit.
Has to be a coincidence. Come on.
It doesn't feel like a coincidence.
It's not a
I don't know,
coincidence.
How did they get this number? Who's call? It's just a very...
That's what I said. Ki only a VPN at Tor is not going to protect you.
Content for the video. But was it just chat rooms, or did you find anything else?
No, there's a bunch of things I've come across, a bunch of websites that Achina can visit, but yeah, I got a glimpse of what's coming.
Is it bad?
Mm-hmm.
There's no way we can't show this.
You can't.
As troubling as stolen data and illicit marketplaces may sound, they pale in comparison to the bottom of the pit. Gore, violence, murder, snuff films, and whatnot are spread throughout the dark web. And at its absolute worst, the dark web has become a safe haven for human trafficking. To put it bluntly, there are entire forums dedicated solely to buying and selling humans. And the scale of this trade is honestly horrifying. According to the International Labour Organization, over 27.6 million people worldwide were found to be trapped in forced labor and sex.
भैया मुझे तो ये पता नहीं किस महान आदमी ने ये recommend की थी वीडियो, but it is a reality, but a very sad reality. I don't know how many people can understand what they're saying, but point ये है कि yes, dark web is there, और उसमें बहुत ही crap है, and you should not go to dark web unless आपका बैकग्राउंड कंप्यूटर्स में है एंड यू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ टू प्रोटेक्ट योरसेल्फ। अगर आप कंप्यूटर्स में नहीं है आपका बैकग्राउंड और आपको नहीं पता कैसे अपने आप को प्रोटेक्ट करना है, आप डार्क वेब में नहीं जाइए। जो उन्होंने चीज़ें दिखाई हैं दे आर नॉट इनफ। उसके अलावा भी बहुत कुछ करना पड़ता है टू गो ऑन द डार्क वेब एंड यू शुड नॉट गो
trafficking networks in 2021.
unless you are in that field and you understand what you're doing.
And many of these transactions are brokered on dark web platforms. A chilling report by Europol found that criminals routinely exploit dark web marketplaces to traffic human beings, often children, because it allows them to evade detection with devastating efficiency. Yet somehow, it gets worse. The dark web hosts extensive networks for child exploitation material operating with terrifying sophistication. A 2014 study found that more than 80% of all dark web visits were to child abuse content. This study underscores deeply unsettling patterns of human behavior.
With the cooperation of 32 countries, including South Korea and the United States, authorities were able to track down those suspected of purchasing child pornography using cryptocurrency.
In 2019 alone, one of the largest child abuse sites, Welcome to Video, was shut down after authorities discovered more than 250,000 disturbing videos. And it gets worse. These videos were accessed and downloaded by over 1 million anonymous users worldwide. That is sickening. And I'll expect.
देखिए वही है कि thankfully at the time what you think is Earth has around 8 billion people. So 8 billion में से over 1 million, thank God कि अभी situation उतनी बुरी नहीं हुई। 8 billion को देखे तो
Entering the dark web makes me wonder what kind of up world we are really in.
Okay, that was predictable. Like, we knew this is what we'd find, right?
Yeah, but you were the one who said the dark web isn't that bad.
I mean, there's good and bad both. But I don't see it as any worse than the actual web or like 4chan or LiveLeak.
Yeah, but it's created a huge market for child porn.
Yeah, when a market like this exists, it just propagates more of practicing this child exploitation, I guess.
Exactly. Creating supply, which is then increasing demand, which is then again increasing the supply.
You know, I read about this police manual that exists, and it's basically like a detailed report on how to investigate rape cases. It goes through everything from collecting forensics to identifying suspects, even like victim care. Guess where it ended up?
So that's what there's like locker rooms and stuff where people are discussing this police manual, trying to figure out how to not get caught.
I was actually looking into the psychology of visiting the dark web. It's surprisingly well documented. Basically, people enter the dark web out of curiosity, but when they end up there, they find a space where the most taboo topics are normalized. So it initially really liberates them, but eventually it ends up emboldening the user.
Emboldening.
I'm guessing in this context, it normalizes the darkest thoughts, intrusive thoughts, impulses,
Which then increases the brain's demand for those thoughts,
which then increases your brain supply of those thoughts.
which then sends you down a spiral. So the dark
Not
web is basically
necessarily.
a concept that allows the most evil
Gullible people to become
and the
more
most
crazy.
nastiest of thoughts to pester.
Right. If you're
But is it good or
weak-minded,
bad? Like, which direction do we take it? Like, I want to figure out what tone do we want to take for the video.
Yeah, and for the audience, when they watch this video, what's the takeaway really?
hmm?
The strangest thing about dark web is that it's full of paradoxes. It's like a carnival mirror held up to humanity, reflecting our most heroic instincts alongside our darkest impulses, often at the very same time. So, take this as a stark warning. The dark web is not a playground
There is
for
more
casual
shit than
curiosity.
actual goodness.
It's not merely forbidden territory, it's dangerous. And exposure to the ecosystem down there can actually alter your psychology. Unless you're a whistleblower or part of a network with journalistic intentions, it is not worth going into the dark web. So please do not try this at home.
देखिए काफ़ी अच्छा वीडियो था, और जैसे मैं कह रहा हूँ कि मैंने भी कहा था कि यू नीड मोर देन अ VPN एंड अ Tor टू गेट इनटू डार्क वेब सेफली, और यू शुड नॉट डू इट अनलेस आपका वो प्रोफेशन है, अनलेस आप कंप्यूटर्स में हैं, अनलेस आप कंप्यूटर नेटवर्किंग में हैं, अनलेस आप एथिकल हैकिंग में हैं, अनलेस आपको कुछ एक्सपीरियंस है, यू शुड नॉट गो देयर एंड इट इज़ ट्रैश। और दूसरा ये है कि ईविल एग्जिस्ट करता है एंड यू कैन सी इट ओवर देयर, बट यू डोंट वांट टू सी इट क्योंकि ईविल आपके पीछे पड़ सकता है। तो कहने की बात है, इट इज़ बेस्ट टू स्टे अवे फ्रॉम दैट क्रैप एंड अपने कर्मा पे फोकस करिए, बी अ गुड पर्सन एंड मूव ऑन। तो आप बताइए इसके बारे में आपके क्या विचार हैं, और इसमें मैं एक और चीज़ कहूँगा कि नॉर्मली अगर कोई ज़बरदस्त क्राइम होता है, जैसे कोई यहाँ पे कोई बच्चे किडनैप होते रहते हैं या कुछ ऐसे कुछ किडनैप हो जाए बच्चा, तो पुलिस जो है उसमें एक्सपर्ट्स बैठे हुए हैं। पुलिस के साइबर सेल में, साइबर सेल यहाँ नहीं बोलते, बट पुलिस के जो भी सेल है, जो साइबर क्राइम का सेल है, उसमें दे आर एक्सपर्ट्स ओवर देयर, जो वो डार्क वेब में जाते हैं देखने के लिए कि क्या उनको हिट कोई मैच आ रहा है जिन बच्चों को किडनैप किया गया। और बहुत सारे केसेस सॉल्व होते हैं विया डार्क वेब, कि यूएस में कोई क्राइम होता है, आप कंप्लेंट करते हैं, पुलिस के, लॉ इन्फोर्समेंट के एक्सपर्ट्स डार्क वेब में जाते हैं, समटाइम्स दे आर एबल टू फाइंड that person, sometimes not. If they find that person, thank God, they go and try to help out, but it is a very dark world. So चलते हैं, मिलें अगले वीडियो में। टेक केयर, बाय बाय।
तो अगर आप मेरे इस चैनल पे नए हो तो जल्दी से सब्सक्राइब के बटन को हिट करो और बेल आइकन को क्लिक करो, ताकि आपको मेरा जब नया वीडियो मैं लगाऊं आपको उसके बारे में जल्दी से पता चल जाए।